Hi, welcome to another lesson in After Effects. Today I'm going to show you how to apply a tracking preset to text. Before we do that though, I want to point out one thing. If you recall, I deleted the word free from this text in a previous lesson. And yet down here in the timeline, you see that the word free is still there. The reason for that is the file was named in Photoshop and it was imported as a Photoshop file. So I just don't want you to get confused. If you import a Photoshop text file and you change it completely in the composition area and you see that it has not changed in the timeline, don't worry about that. It's just because it was imported from Photoshop. So to apply a tracking preset to this subtitle cooking classes, we're going to first go to 7:10 in the timeline. And this is just after the letters in the other subtitle, Making Pasta from Scratch, have finished drawing on screen. So now we select our cooking classes file layer down here in the timeline. We'll go to Effects and Presets. This time we're going to search. We're going to search for increased tracking. And we just have to double click on it. We don't actually have to drag it. And that will apply it to the layer that we had selected, our cooking classes layer. So now let's preview this manually. We see that the text does expand, but it's not really readable. So what we want to do is make the letters very close together at the start of the effect, so that when it stops at the last keyframe, it will be at 100%. And to do that, we're going to select the cooking classes layer here in the timeline, and we're going to adjust the tracking amount. So once again, we're going to press the letter U on your keyboard twice, UU, which opens the properties. We're going to go back to 7:10 in the timeline. And at 7:10, we're going to change the tracking amount to -5. So now we see the letters are very close together. Now we'll go to the next keyframe arrow. This is something else I wanted to show you. So down here by tracking amount, we see there's a little keyframe. You could add or remove this keyframe here, or if you had several keyframes, you could go to the previous keyframe. But we want to click this arrow that faces right. It says we want to go to the next keyframe, and that automatically takes us to the second keyframe. And here we're going to change the tracking amount to 0. So basically that will be 100% of the text, as we saw it previously. So now if we drag from about 7:10 to about 8:10, we see that the letters expand to 100%. And that's all we're going to do for this particular lesson. But in the next lesson, I'm going to show you how to animate text opacity. Thank you again for watching.